If you've ever wondered what the NDL number on your dive computer means, you might want to watch this video. So, welcome to Valkyrie Divers. My name is Gerard, and today we're going to talk about NDL in an easy to understand manner. We will cover the following questions. What does NDL mean? Why does it matter? What happens if that number on your dive computer reaches 0? How is NDL calculated? And related to it, why do we do safety stops at the end of our dive? Understanding NDL is one of the most important concepts in diving safety. So, without further ado, let's dive in. Firstly, what does NDL actually mean? Very simply, it means no decompression limit. It's actually slightly a misnomer, but we'll just run with it, please. What it does is it represents the maximum amount of time that you can stay at a given depth and still ascend directly to the surface without doing a mandatory decompression stop. Recreational divers, that's divers who aren't qualified as technical divers, are not qualified for decompression diving. And so we must stay within the limits, the time limits set by our dive computer's NDL. Your dive computer calculates NDL constantly during your dive and is based on your depth, how long you have been underwater and the depths that you have been, and a calculation using a model of how much nitrogen your body has absorbed. And I'll talk about the use of a model later on in this video. So the key thing is, as you go deeper, your NDL becomes shorter because the nitrogen dissolves into your tissues more quickly under higher pressure. Now, why does nitrogen matter? So remember, the air we breathe is 21% oxygen, 79% nitrogen. That's approximate. There are some other gases which are slightly small, but approximately 79% of the air that you breathe is nitrogen. And at normal atmospheric pressure, i.e. on land, absorbing that nitrogen into your body and releasing it from your body does not cause any particular problem. However, when you breathe compressed air underwater, you're breathing nitrogen under pressure. And the greater that pressure, the more that your body is absorbing. Now, your body absorbs nitrogen during the course of the dive. If you ascend slowly, which is at a rate no faster than 9 meters a minute, or what your dive computer tells you, or actually, if you just don't go faster than your slowest bubble, then provided you stay within your NDL on your dive computer, i.e. it doesn't go to 0, your body can safely release the nitrogen as you breathe. As the pressure of water around you reduces, so does the nitrogen absorbed in your body reduce and is released. But if you stay too long at depth, too much nitrogen gets built up in your body. Now, if you then ascend too quickly, your body is releasing this nitrogen at a rate that causes decompression sickness, sometimes called the bends. A simple example of how pressure is impacted. Let's assume your first dive of the day. So at 15 meters, your no decompression limit could well be over an hour. Now that is normally ample time for most recreational dives. But if you go down to 21 meters, your NDL will go down to about 36 minutes. You go down to 24 meters, it could be 26 minutes. And at 30 meters, your NDL could be closer to 20 minutes. So the deeper you go, the more nitrogen is being absorbed in your tissues. And so your NDL, your no decompression limit, is significantly reduced. So what happens if your NDL reaches zero whilst you are on your dive? You've now entered into decompression diving, which, as I mentioned earlier, is something that recreational divers are not qualified to do. So this is because your body has absorbed more nitrogen than it can safely release in a normal ascent. And so you can't go directly to the surface. You are going to have to do decompression stops. Now, fortuitously, your dive computer will tell you when to stop and for how long. These decompression stops are necessary. They're necessary to ensure that your body releases that nitrogen safely. So unlike a safety stop, these are mandatory. So recreational diving is designed to keep divers within the limits of your body being able to release the absorbed nitrogen safely, i.e. at a normal ascent rate, which is why monitoring the NDL on your computer during your dive is so important. So let's just talk for a second. How does your computer calculate NDL? So modern dive computers track your nitrogen using a mathematical model. And the inputs to that are the depth you are at, your time underwater, your ascent rate, and it includes previous dives, your previous dive history, if that is relevant. This is why your NDL number is constantly changing during the course of the dive. Now, just a quick word about models. It's important to remember that a model is simply a computer making a calculation. It is not your body, but it calculates what it should, or the average would do, based on how much nitrogen your body has absorbed. Everybody will absorb slightly different rates, and it will depend on many factors, such as how much sleep you had and what you've eaten and how much you drank and all sorts of other things. But the model is set conservatively. So whilst they are set conservatively, you need to remember that your physiology, everyone's physiology, is different. You will actually be absorbing nitrogen at a slightly different rate to other divers in your group and to the model itself. Before we had dive computers, divers would plan diving using a chart called an RDP, a recreational dive planner. And that manually calculates maximum dive times based on your planned dive and how deep your dive is going to be. Divers would then monitor their depth and time. It would monitor their depth and time whilst on the dive to ensure that they stayed within the limits determined by that RDP. I don't plan to further explain the use of the RDP in this video, as the dive computer does these things automatically. So if people want more detail on the RDP, then please let me know in the comments and I can do a separate video on that. So, dive planning. Good dive planning always considers no decompression limits. It's one of the factors. Divers often plan their dives to stay well within their NDL. Before you start your dive, you can use the dive planner on your computer, or you can use RDP tables if you use them. And as part of your dive plan, you consider how long your NDL will be for the depth at which you intend to dive. This can be done, as I said, on the planning module on your dive computer, and you should know how to use all the functions of your dive computer before you start diving. So use the planning mode to plan your dive given the depth at which you intend to go. Having planned the dive, you now need to monitor your NDL during the course of your dive. So the deeper you go, the shorter that time will be. So if you find your NDL time is getting a little short, then you can start moving shallower. That will increase your NDL. Never dive longer than your NDL allows you to. In fact, give yourself a buffer. Some people do 3 minutes, some people do 5, which is a number below which you will not let your NDL go. So you plan to be at your exit point, i.e. where you're going to ascend, with an NDL of no less than what you predetermined, be it 3 minutes, 5 minutes, or any other number, just more than 0. Plan to be at your ascent point no lower than that number. Now, even if you stay within your NDL, we still do a safety stop at 5 meters. We stop for 3 minutes at 5 meters. This safety stop provides an additional margin for nitrogen leaving your body. It's not a decompression stop. It is purely an additional safety measure, and we do that on every dive, just to be safe. So, understanding NDL is fundamental to safe diving. It tells you how long you can stay at a depth without having to do mandatory decompression stops. The deeper you dive, the shorter your no decompression limit becomes. And by monitoring your dive computer and ascending slowly, you help ensure that your dives remain safe and enjoyable. It is for this reason that unless you have planned your dive during using an RDP and monitor the dive with a depth and time recording device like a watch and a depth gauge, you must use a dive computer on every dive. It's also important that you use the same dive computer for all the dives on that trip that day, because it stores the information from the previous trip. One of the reasons we do surface intervals is to allow that nitrogen to come out. The shorter the surface interval, the less NDL time we will have on the next dive. Relying on someone else's dive computer is a very unsafe practice, because your dive profile and their dive profile will not be exactly the same. So make sure you have your own computer when diving. Now, I'm not saying you have to own one. If you don't own one, rent one or borrow one. But please always dive with a dive computer, unless of course you have used an RDP table and you monitor your depth and time within the dive plan set using that table. So, thank you for watching. If you found this helpful, please click that subscribe button down there for more practical scuba dive skills and safety explanations. Remember, dive smart, dive calm, and always know your limits and stay within them. So, I look forward to seeing you on the next video. Thank you again.